Hello and welcome. I'm Pam Carruthers of healingstars.com, and I'm showing you the new moon, December the 1st. Interesting, new moon, the first of the month. And there's a lot of fire energy now. Look at the elements in this beginner wheel, it's called. It's huge fire energy. We have also earth, we have air, and we have quite a lot of water, emotional energy. But in what we call the modes, it's very mutable, and that's because Sagittarius, Moon, Sun, Mercury, all in Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is called a mutable sign, and it's a fire sign. And notice the incredibly strong connection we have with Mercury, which is now retrograde, in a lovely formation called a trine, a flow of energy, to Chiron, also in fire, in Aries. There's a lot of retrograde at the moment. We've got Jupiter retrograde, Uranus retrograde, Mercury is now retrograde, and Mars will go retrograde on the 6th of December. However, on the 7th, Neptune will move forward. So, there's always this flow, this ebb and flow in astrology with the planets. Pluto, headline news, is now firmly in Aquarius. Here it is in Aquarius. It did move into Aquarius earlier this year. However, it went back into Capricorn and then turned around, as all retrograde planets do. They go forward. So now we are in for the long haul of Pluto at Aquarius. And I noticed in the news two extraordinary events on the same day. This was last Friday. One, the opening of Notre Dame Cathedral after 5 years of that horrendous fire, and the effort and energy and craftsmanship into rebuilding. And President Macron from France, of course, was there. Notre Dame Cathedral is in Paris, the capital of France. And it was described as a rebirth. That is a really important concept to do with Pluto, god of the underworld, of the unconscious, but also can rise like a phoenix from the ashes. Very appropriate, I believe. The other big news here in the UK was that the bill for assisted dying has been passed through Parliament with a majority. It's still a long way to go, but that is a landmark. And assisted dying, whatever your thoughts on this, your beliefs on this, your opinions, is a very deep, huge move forward in terms of Pluto, death, rebirth. And that, I believe, hallmarks the advent of Pluto now in Aquarius full time. At this new moon in Sagittarius, it is a fire sign, and Mercury, as you can see, is in a very good relationship to Chiron. So here we're getting the healing coming through. Chiron in Aries is in retrograde itself, and it's quite personal, Chiron. The reason being that it's only a 50-year orbit. So by the time you're around the age of 50, Chiron has moved through all of the planets in your chart, all of the signs in your chart, and it is also, along with Uranus, an awakening planet, or it's actually a centaur. It's a new body of astronomers have called it a centaur. So if you have reached the age of around 50, you might well be going through Chiron return. I offer a very good report, actually 2 reports on Chiron, one written by Zane Stein, who is the original author and investigator, astrologer of Chiron. So it is the wounded healer, and it was originally thought the wound that cannot heal. However, that was way back when it began its tour appearance, shall we say, in the sky in 1977, and now it's very much healing those wounds, those soul wounds. And I work very much with clients at that deep level. Now, the Jupiter energy in retrograde is in Gemini, and I mentioned this before. It's in the sign of Mercury, and Mercury is in the sign of Sagittarius, and that is going to be prolonged because Mercury is retrograde. So the big picture and the detail are coming together. It's important to have a vision, have a plan for future. And this month of December is actually a very good time to be doing that. Because when Mercury is retrograde, we can absorb all those messages, all that information that we get, which is we are, without a doubt, bombarded with it every day. Mars in Leo, there it is, set for the UK, for London, right there at the top of the chart. Mars likes the sign of Leo, that's very true. It will retrograde and it will go back into its sign of Cancer. But meanwhile, it's important in terms of leadership, because that's what Leo is. Leo is the sun king. So Mars is very, very happy, if you like, in the palace of the sun, the king. I can't move about this new moon, apart from the fact that Saturn is also now moving forward. So that is one big event. Saturn is personal because it's only like 28, 29 years for it to travel around the whole zodiac. And it takes about 2.5 years in a sign. So it's now about a third of the way through Pisces. Neptune, also in Pisces, will be moving forward, as I mentioned, on the 7th of December. And next year, it will be in a new sign. It will be in Aries. So that is something that we haven't lived through, basically. It's a long cycle, Neptune, about 165 years. So it's not easy to predict, really, truly, what it's going to mean for us all. It's certainly not happy when it moves into Aries, but also that fire energy, which we've had before. We've had Uranus go through Aries. So it's following on from that other major transit. The South Node, North Node, to do with eclipses, they go backwards through the zodiac. And here, the South Node, 3 degrees of Libra, North Node, 3 of Aries. They are relationship signs. They are Venus and Mars, in that order. So relationships are still very much in focus at this time. And I offer, among other things I offer, one of my services as an astrologer, and I was doing it only recently with a client. It's very easy to look at two people's charts using Vedic astrology because it's instantly, understandable, even if you don't understand, or don't have rather, the birth times. Albeit I do actually offer an intuitive rectification on birth times, which has proven to be very successful. So feel into this energy. Venus will be moving sign. It is actually in a trine, a good combination trine. Haven't really mentioned that. There's Venus and Uranus together. That's a really lucky combination of Venus can do with money, and Uranus, something that comes out of the blue. Venus moves into Aquarius, and that's when it will join Pluto, albeit briefly, only a few days, frankly. So it's always about looking at the news. That's why I mentioned those two major events that happened when Pluto moved into Aquarius. Enjoy the fire. Enjoy that energy. And I will be recording a solstice presentation. I have done it before, a long time ago, and it involves a ritual. So sign up to my newsletter and you will get information on that ritual. Thank you for watching. PamCarruthers.com. Oh, and I have a special offer on right now. If you want a consultation, usually I charge £108. At the moment, it's only £88. It's due to the fact that I've moved. I have just moved after 4 months of really not knowing where I was living. trying to find somewhere to live. I'm now settling, operative word, in a lovely part of the country called Eastbourne. So take advantage of my generosity, and I love giving consultations. Thank you for watching. Pam Carruthers, healingstars.com.